In the middle of the 240-acre JCB golf course in Rocester lies the ruins of Woodseat Hall. Woodseat Hall was constructed in 1767 for Thomas Bainbridge of Derby. He was a man of considerable wealth and influence who served as the High Sheriff of Derbyshire from 1760. He inherited the estate at Rocester from his father in 1746 and expanded it even further by purchasing the Manor of Rocester in 1778, which was a vast estate with roots tracing back to the Doomsday of 1086. But when he died in 1798 and was buried in Rocester, he didn't realise that he was leaving behind a legacy entwined with privilege, eccentricity and conflict. Upon his death, Woodseat Hall passed to his son, Thomas Bainbridge, who originally lived in Derby. He returned to Woodseat later in life, only to find the once grand estate in decay, shattered windows, crumbling walls, and an infestation of rats. His own mental state was deteriorating as well, and his personal life revolved around his housekeeper, Elizabeth Parker, and with her he had an illegitimate daughter, Betsy. The relationship deteriorated though after she became pregnant again, this time with a child he knew he was not his. Enraged, he banished Parker, but remained devoted to their daughter Betsy. She grew up in the shadow of her father's increasing instability, and her rebellion came in the form of a forbidden romance with the son of Bainbridge's sworn enemy, Mr. Arnold. Their elopement shattered Bainbridge, leading him to disown Betsy and rewrite his will multiple times, each version reflecting his shifting allegiances and deepening paranoia. Upon Thomas's death in 1818, a legal battle ensued that would captivate Victorian Britain. His final will left the estate to his illegitimate granddaughter, Mary Ann, for her lifetime, with succession rights to her children. However, an earlier will had favoured the children of his brothers, sparking a sensational legal battle known as Bainbridge versus Bainbridge. The courtroom was filled with sordid tales of family feuds, contested inheritances, and accusations of madness. Witnesses told of Thomas's volatile temper, his descent into isolation, and his bizarre domestic life. Allegations emerged that his solicitor, Mr. Blair, had manipulated the elderly Bainbridge into signing a will that favoured Betsy's children, cutting out Thomas Parker Bainbridge, a determined and ambitious nephew. After years of legal wrangling, a compromise was reached in 1851. Thomas Parker Bainbridge secured the estate in exchange for a £25,000 payment to Mrs. Arnold's eldest son. Yet the disputes continued until 1860, draining the family's wealth and tarnishing their legacy. When the dust finally settled, Woodseat Hall was sold in 1861 to Colin Minton Campbell. He was a successful pottery manufacturer and a Member of Parliament for Stoke-upon-Trent, and he was determined to restore the hall's former glory, so he enlisted T.C. Hine of Nottingham to embark on an ambitious remodelling project. He added two-storey wings with elaborate windows, and the central block was adorned with decorative triangular pediments and ornamental urns, and he transformed the estate's character. Campbell stayed at Woodseat Hall until his death in 1885, and the Campbell family maintained ownership until 1941, when the hall was abandoned, and it faded again into ruin. By the 1970s, the hall was derelict, and by the 1980s, the central block had collapsed, which left only the 19th century wings. In 1986, JCB acquired the site, and it marked a new chapter for Woodseat Hall. They obtained planning permission in 2014 to transform the grounds into a golf course, incorporating the hall's surviving ruins into the clubhouse design. And there are plans to not restore the hall, but to restore the wings and put a glass structure in between the two, making it more modern. And although the wings don't look in fantastic condition, they are now structurally sound thanks to JCB, and they are in a much better condition than they were even a few years ago. The golf course itself was one of the UK's most ambitious golf projects. It's built on an area of heavy clay that's far more suited to making pottery or bricks than it was to sustaining a high quality sports turf. But this golf course is now one of the top 100 courses in the country, and it hosts prestigious professional events, including tournaments on the Legends Tour. So Woodseat Hall's future does look promising. It's never going to be a hall again, but I'm a big fan of repurposing our heritage in any way so that it's not lost. And even if the wings form part of a more modern golf course and a more modern building, at least it's saved so that the history can be discussed and explored by our future generations.